Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today is the last Sunday of the month. So this is my no-buy check-in for the month of January. Now it's officially been almost an entire month in this no-buy. Yay, we did it! We're 1 month in. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. Okay, so I want to go over and show you the things I was tempted by and my mood. I added mood to this because I feel like that's a factor that probably should be discussed a little bit more in depth. So the first thing I was tempted by was the fact that the company that makes this dot grid bullet journal makes watercolor books, and they make one that's blue and they make one that's yellow, and that's fun, and I love weird colors. So $40, I would have bought one. I absolutely would have bought one. Why? Because I was bored. I think that's the downfall of some of my purchase choices. Watercolor ground, again, almost $18. Panic. So I started to panic when I made gesso, and I made some products to try and turn more of my sketchbooks into painting sketchbooks. It wasn't very successful. And part of me was like, oh, we need to buy this. We need to make sure more of our sketchbooks we can paint on. And I talked myself out of it. I just said, no, you purchased these sketchbooks. These are the sketchbooks you have. Congratulations. Own your purchases. The Holbein multi-sizing liquid, again, panic. This has to do with turning a regular sketchbook into a sketchbook you can paint on. And I was like, you know, you made your bed, now you have to sleep in it. And which is kind of a really hard, tough love thing, but that's part of the challenge now. How do we use up all these sketchbooks and not get burnt out when we're in the mood to paint and we can't paint? Or do we change the style that we paint in? Do we dry brush or something? So I'm gonna have to get creative. Cute things from Japan, stickers. Stickers are a downfall. Almost $5, I was bored. I should never be up super late unsupervised by myself when I am bored, because I will always find something to buy. Clove oil. I've been getting a lot of really great comments on my moldy watercolor videos that clove oil would help out a ton. And I have that under the need category. I'll show you something else I've been doing. Okay, so I want to try this other style of watercolor paper. It's called Bichon. It's $27. It's 100% cotton. I want to see how that measures up to Arches. If I'm going to start making and binding my own watercolor sketchbooks as sort of a money-saving thing, and we'll get into budgets later on in the year, like how I'm going to budget my supplies once this year is over, and we'll talk in depth about that because that deserves its own video. But I kind of want to see other 100% watercolor paper, and if this is extremely similar to Arches and more affordable, I want to try it. But again, this is a want, and I don't know. I'm going to have to wait, obviously. I'm going to have to wait till 2023. I definitely see myself purchasing this. So, Sketchbook Company, watercolor, impulse, $43. I felt extremely impulsive and wanted to buy something. Like, I'm just sitting down and asking myself, how do I feel? And part of me was like, ooh, just get it. Ooh, just do it. I'm like, nope, doing a no-buy. So, ink samples. There was a advent calendar that was all miniature, teeny tiny bottles of ink, where you open up a window and you get a little thing of ink. I wouldn't use all those inks. Here's the deal, I don't create with ink. I own a couple that I don't use, and I don't do calligraphy nearly enough to make that. It was like over $100. Well, they pulled all the little ink samples out and started selling them individually at $4.50 a piece, and I was, ooh, I want at least one. I want one of those duotone inks that sort of color shifts when you look at it. I don't need that. I already have inks that I don't use. So no, absolutely not. And then I got out my soft pastels, and there are at least 12 that I don't own in singles that I would like to own to sort of fill in the color gaps. And there's a sampler set I would love to have. That's $55. And I think that some of this stuff would make, especially the sampler set, would make a really interesting video comparing them. But that would be, you know, $55 to make a video. And I'm not monetized, so, and I'm doing a no-buy. At this point, how do I know I have gaps in my pastel collection that need to be filled with extra shades and tints if I'm not using them enough to begin with? So that's sort of the sit-down question with myself is, you're not even using this, darling. Stop trying to add more to something you don't know is lacking. And then some Tomoe River Paper Traveler's inserts. So for the Traveler's size book, they make different inserts. And I have one of these for homeschooling. And there's this very specific project I want to do. And it's for my children. And I will do a different video about it later. But I'm doing a no-buy, so obviously now is not the time to do this project. This is just something that I came up with in my mind, and I was like, oh, that would be really, really sweet to do for my kids. And it's not now. Obviously, this is not the time for that. I am busy enough, and I have plenty of other things sitting down and waiting. So I would have spent, and this doesn't include tax or shipping if I'm not meeting shipping requirements, $298.81. That's almost $300 for 1 month. It adds up so fast. So what I've started here is a 2023 shopping list. And these are things I feel are non-negotiable needs. Now I'm showing you a list of a lot of wants and impulses and where I'm bored and other project ideas. But these are things that I feel like aren't negotiable. So I'm needing a new phone battery, and I'm going to need a new camera battery because mine is dying, and I want distilled water for using for my watercolors so I stop adding minerals to them, and silica packets, and a hair dryer. And all this is for the moldy watercolor situation. I feel like these are all non-negotiable items. And eventually I'm going to need a watercolor sketchbook. But this is the list I've started. Now, as for empties for this month, I am filling a sketchbook that I had started last year, and it's a little sort of Kyoko. It has grids on it. I've been doing monochromatic illustrations. If you want to give yourself anxiety during a no-buy, do something monochromatically and watch how fast you burn through your art supplies. I actually don't recommend doing something monochromatic because you just go through stuff so fast that it just adds more stress and sort of panic. But here is the pencil, and there's a little bit left. I will use it up in the next 2 days. This is my backup pencil. As you can see, it is greatly shrunk as well, hence the panic. When I take notes, I have like an eraser topper that I use with my note pencil, and this is where it's at. So I've used up an eraser, a colored pencil, and filled one small sketchbook for this month. And because I print things for some of my videos, I also used up yellow cartridge. So that's what my January has been looking like. It's been a lot of green. It's been a lot of me not really changing my habits any late night, and I just need to sort of find other things to do with my time and just read more or listen to audiobooks and just dig back into my sketchbooks. But things are going fairly well. I have a ton of topics to talk about for in-depth videos of different things that are occurring to me while I'm working on this. And the other thing is sort of doing this so publicly and having a public YouTube channel while talking about all this has been very, very fascinating. I hope this helps. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.